Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
Thank you for listening to us on Podbean, iTunes, Pocket Cast, Stitcher, and
Google Play.
yeah, Google Play Music. All right, and this episode is episode 38, Chemistry versus Compatibility. Which should you go for? And I thought this would be a very good topic to discuss because there's just been a lot of things going on with the things that we watch, and also in my personal life that always reflect to, okay, which one, not to necessarily say which is better, because I know a lot of people say, or it should be a mix of both, a little bit of chemistry and compatibility. But like sometimes maybe for some people compatibility is much better than chemistry, because I remember posing this question on Facebook a long time ago, and people, because I specifically said, okay, which one would you choose? Because everybody wants, the ideal answer is obviously both, but
is it?
No.
I don't know.
Okay, I was about to say, oh, she's about to drop something on me. But some people said without a doubt compatibility. Some people said no, compatibility is boring. You need passion. So I would rather do chemistry and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, I never thought that it would be such a
Chemistry
as big as a thing. What?
Chemistry is dangerous.
It is dangerous. It is definitely is dangerous. But yeah, but that's what this episode is going to be about, and we'll definitely get into it in a second. But do we have any daily dish? Oh, I'll go first, which will probably tempt you to say what daily dish you have to say.
Oh, do I?
Yes, you do, because we need to update our audience. So the chapter has finally been closed, because by the time you listen to this episode, my ex-fiance would have been married. She got married recently, and so that chapter,
hooray for her,
is closed. Yes, hooray for her, definitely. Like I said, I mean, I haven't seen her in months, and I'm not necessarily gonna give my congratulations things or whatever, but I mean, yeah, it's an odd feeling. I mean, I'm good for pretty much for the most part. It's been a couple days, so yeah. I mean, it's always I'm not even gonna front with myself. I mean, she's always gonna have a little place in my heart for me.
Oh, of course.
It was a big. She was a big deal in my life. So I can't necessarily completely erase her from my memory.
Right.
What is it? Endless Spotlight. What? Endless. What's the damn movie?
I don't know.
Eternal Spotlight. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. There you go.
I don't get that movie. I never saw it.
So basically they wanted to erase each other from each other's memories.
I had a dream about Brooklyn last night.
Oh snap! We are definitely gonna get into that, but
just randomly that came to my mind.
But yeah. So that's done. It's well, I mean, obviously it's been officially over for a while, but I'm just saying, just that journey, that's done. That chapter's done. So it was an interesting ride. It was.
So you gotta pick yourself up and.
Oh no! Yeah.
Keep on stepping.
No, definitely. But I just wanted to tell people that, and update the people, because for some people they're actually keeping count, or they want to know what happened to that person, or what happened to this person.
Now I know what news I have to tell.
Yes, see.
So with some Facebook stalking, because I get bored sometimes. I'm easily bored. I have issues. It's quite dangerous. I found out that restraining order boy got engaged.
Yo.
He's been with this girl a whopping 4 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds familiar. I can relate.
and he's like, I found the love of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his like tagline is.
Right.
And she's like this like young thing.
She's a PYT, pretty young thing.
I don't know about all that. She's like young as shit. And she
Okay.
had like a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
a
he wants
5-year-old.
So he wants to be a father figure. That's
yeah, great with that restraining order. Let me know how that works out. Picking your kid up from preschool. Not dropping it. Sorry.
Damn. She's like, not dropping it.
So I told my mom. My mom was just like, she's like, see that, Jen? You could have been married.
Oh, really? She said that?
And then she was just like, oh, but I like your boyfriend now better. I was like,
Oh, I was about to say. I was like,
yeah, okay.
I think the world.
That wasn't even an option, Mom.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, but when you told me, I was just in utter shock. Like, I was just like, wait, what? And then, and I kind of
like martini guess. And
yeah,
just like,
I was saying all these. I even brought up Brooklyn, and she was like, no, and
I'm like, no, never.
And yeah, when she told me, and I kind of jokingly said in my mind, and
if he was engaged, I'd like freaking need like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the floor. I'd be like, no way. What sucker was born?
Wow. But yeah, I kind of half jokingly said to her too. I was like, "Oh, you see, like that could have been you." Like, and he would have did it where he was gonna propose to you and stuff, and then you immediately shut me down, and you're just like, "No, he's in love with love." And I'm like, "Oh shoot, you're right. I can totally see that. He's in love with love." So I forget what episode that is. Probably like 34, 35. Go back and listen to it. And we have a whole podcast about are you in love or in love with love? And we're pretty sure that he's definitely in love with love. So, but hey, if he wants to be a father figure and he wants to take on the responsibility, and he wants
She's
to take
a little
on,
girl too, so I mean, who knows?
Mm-hmm. If he wants to take the responsibility of that, because that's a huge responsibility, then by all means. Right there, George Michael.
Oh man.
But yeah. So are you allowed to talk about your dream of Brooklyn? Is it too salacious?
No. It was like he was like at my house and he was dyeing his hair purple.
Okay. Could you see him actually doing that?
Yeah, he was like, "Did it come out good?" I'm like, "I don't know. Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it in my house?"
And then like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird.
Yeah.
I always have like weird, like he makes cameos in my dreams, but, like as as my friend. Like it's never like we have like this like super sexual intimate moment.
Right.
It's always just like, "Yo, Jen, what's up?" And I'm like, "What's up, man?"
He just pops in.
And he just pops in.
Special
and
guest
like,
appearance.
"You're not supposed to be here.
Right.
Nobody's supposed to be." Yeah, so I'm just like, "Gotta go, buddy." And I wake up and I pee and then I go back to sleep and dream about something else.
That's funny. I don't know.
It's never anything super exciting.
Right. What do you think? Why do you think that means? I mean,
because like we only had like one like really hot moment in our whole relationship,
right?
And he was drunk, so.
Oh God. No, but like.
So that was it.
Right. No, but like.
That's the moment where I got caught up. Yo. I got so caught up.
Oh God.
It was all downhill from there.
But why? But remember, a couple episodes ago, you met him for the first time in a very long time. So don't you think that would have quelled any lingering things that you
I think
needed?
He's just gonna be one of those people that are like, I don't have like those like same like curiosities of like, wonder if we'd ever work out as adults.
Yeah.
But like, I think he's just always gonna have like that place in my life. Like,
I feel you.
Of that dude.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I think I was dreaming of him yesterday because Anthony David came out with a new album.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had seen Anthony David with him.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was just like, yo, I wonder if he knows.
Oh, that CD
Anthony David came out with a new album.
Right.
I was just like, what do I do about that? And I was just like, keep working.
Right.
You know, and that's like that was always my thing. Like, okay, I don't want to ever date you again. You know, like we didn't like say I love you to each other. Like, because he didn't.
Right.
And it wasn't like some like long lost love thing. It was just like, I want my friend who I can tell these things to.
Right.
And that's the part that I think is hard to let go of.
I feel you.
I have a hard time letting go of like friendships and people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can like be like the biggest asshole cunt bitch to me, and I'm still like, underneath all that Maybelline, she's a good person.
Right.
So
which somebody brought that attention to you.
Yeah.
Brought attention to that, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That like you might need to let go of some ties because they're not beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it, I hate when she's right.
No, I feel you. No, that makes sense.
So, other than that, everything is copacetic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Regular day in the neighborhood, wrapping up the summer.
Yeah. Fall.
It's almost cuffing season, people. Get your roster ready.
Oh no, I know, right?
We should have a whole episode on cuffing season.
I'm surprised that we haven't. You're right.
I don't know. We really need to.
No.
Break down the rules.
Definitely.
That's next.
Yeah, that's definitely next, or definitely on the list.
Oh, we should mention that we did have a little intimate gathering of some of our favorite guests who've been on the show to kind of close out the summer. And thank you all for who attended and grilled. And Martini was like making some wings that everybody was. I didn't get any wings. I had like one wing. How did that happen?
Are you serious? You didn't get any wings?
I had one wing. They housed them.
I probably have like 3 or 4.
They housed them, man.
No, they definitely did. Yeah, we should have got a lot more. We should have got like a lot more. We only got like 2 bags. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, but they did house them. Cause I was worried. I mean, not a lot of people came near the end, so I was glad that like the majority of the people who came, they like ate the food, you know, and they were like satisfied. You know, so I was worried, like, oh man, if like 1 or 2 people, because we were still waiting on a couple people. I was like, yo, if they come, like, you want some ice?
You can have hot dog.
You see? We got ice. You know, that's about it. But
yeah, thank you for everybody who came through and everyone who shared their ideas, and there'll be some new and exciting things coming to the podcast soon. Yeah,
definitely. We're trying to grow. I guess I don't know if this is necessarily the end of like phase 1 or something like that, but we're definitely trying to.
It's like the Phantom Menace.
No, that's episode.
I don't get it. I dropped my nerd glasses somewhere over there.
But yeah, we don't know. Well, you're kind of close because like Marvel does like the phases. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if this is like necessarily the end of phase 1 or something like that. But we're trying to just expand ourselves and trying to reach a bigger audience and try to reach more people. Jennifer and I, we still need to converse to see how big we actually want to get. You know, like I don't know if we want to strive to be like a national television show or something like that. You know,
those never really last long.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, the thing is, I like
get Dr. Drew on the show.
The thing is,
what you doing, Dr. Drew?
I like what we do. And I just want more people to just listen to us. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, I still like the intimacy of it just being, you know, like us two, like in the basement. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool. But I do want more people to.
Don't put me in no studio with a swirly chair.
You know, I do like the intimacy of that, but also, I mean, this might sound pretty easy, but you know, behind the scenes, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, so we wanna kind of get compensated for that as well. So we're just trying
checking
new things.
Our options out.
Yeah, definitely checking our options.
But thank you for rocking with us.
Yes, thank you definitely for rocking with us.
So I was just thinking about me and Restraining Order Boy. I don't know if we had compatibility or chemistry. I think we just had boredom.
Ooh, wow. That's okay. Yeah, like you just hit me with that.
No. It was probably compatibility to a degree. Because there was things that we had in common that made it work.
Definitely. Oh, no, and we'll definitely get to well, you know, actually, no, we can get to that right now. There was something that you posted on Facebook.com, on our Facebook.com page, Bella Beyond, and they were talking about this person, Paul Carrick Brunson, and he was talking about the combination of
He's fine.
Okay.
I'm just
Yes,
saying.
he is a good looking man.
He's married, but he's fine.
And wait, do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And he was talking about
The other guy's fine too.
Yeah. And he was talking about true romantic love and the pillars of that.
Right.
So what he says, what he believes.
I want to know what makes him an expert, but.
Oh, I don't know. I was just assuming what. I mean,
I liked what he said though. So.
Yeah, I liked what he said. So what he said was the three components of what true romantic love is friendship, intimacy, and not intimacy as in sexual stuff, but just a closeness, and also commitment. So friendship, intimacy, and commitment defines romantic love. And he said you can still have two out of the three, but it comes up with a different result. So let's say you have intimacy and commitment, but no friendship, and that's empty love, according to him, because he sees like a lot of marriages. That's what happens. You know, they have the intimacy and they have the commitment to keep going, but there's no friendship. There's no like love. So it's just it's empty. And the other combination is, well, you have friendship and you have commitment, but no intimacy, and that's just being best friends.
Right.
You know, and maybe to an extent the friend zone, but definitely best friends. So how do you fall? What do you think you fall in with restraining order boy with that? Any of these or
just friendship?
Did these sound familiar? Just friendship? That's what that was.
Mean, intimacy, no. No. And then what was the other one?
There was intimacy and commitment. And
no.
Friendship and commitment.
Friendship and commitment, I guess, just because it was like a long-term friendship.
Right.
Like we were friends for like ever.
Yeah. So basically, you wouldn't necessarily call him best friends.
No.
But you guys had a good friendship.
A long friendship.
Yeah. So that's what that is. Yeah. Pretty much friendship and commitment, but no intimacy.
Right.
You guys would be labeled as friends. So
we're friends, not anymore.
Yeah. So okay, but that's very interesting that you came up with that assessment that you said there was no chemistry or no necessarily compatibility. It was just that you guys were together because of boredom, and a lot of people do get into relationships like that. You know. And
I was single and missing love, and he's clearly in love with love.
Yeah. So it's just like, why not?
It was just like, hey, boo.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah. So you would advise people to
get a fucking hobby instead of dating. I'm not laughing.
Damn, I was gonna say you can at least reevaluate your stance, but I wouldn't say necessarily get a hobby and stuff like that.
No, get a fucking hobby. This is so serious.
Yeah.
Run, girl, run.
Oh my goodness.
Don't make the same mistakes.
Oh man. All right. Hey, if that's your deal, that's your deal. That makes sense.
True that. So, what do we have here? I don't really know the difference between compatibility and chemistry.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Jennifer, because I have the definitions.
Kermit the Frog.
So, Kermit the Frog here. So, there's this article, psychcentral.com, and it says, what is more important, chemistry or compatibility? And here are the definitions. Compatibility is based on common values and life goals, a high level of comfort with each other, shared experiences, and the ability to have fun with each other. These are essential components for a lasting relationship. Whereas chemistry is about looks and body type, but it's more of a gestalt thing. A person with moderately good looks can be irresistibly attractive if he or she has great personality. And the article continues, in my experience as a dating coach, most women will give men a chance, or two or three, unless they are totally off on a first date. The majority of women in my practice are interested in an emotional and an intellectual compatibility first, and a physical compatibility chemistry second. The men I've polled usually judge a woman's dateability by how physically attractive they feel on the first date. If they feel chemistry, there's a second date. No chemistry, next. So we were talking about online dating several times on this podcast, and we even dedicated an entire episode about it. And it says right here, in online dating, a woman's profile picture is the first and most important way to get a man's attention. Again, men seem to place much more emphasis on a woman's looks than her profile essay. Most women will be interested in what's behind that handsome face. Is there a good character? Does he have integrity? Does he seem emotionally available? A nice face is attractive, but a nice guy is a keeper. And there's a story about somebody who picked compatibility over chemistry. And it's super short. And it says, Lori met Harvey through an online dating site. He was overweight and not her physical type. He dressed poorly, but she loved many of his qualities. He was smart, successful, grounded, and kind. He treated her with tremendous respect, always driving over an hour to meet her, and he had beautiful eyes.
Well, now.
Well, now. But essentially, yeah. So compatibility is common values and life goals, and chemistry is pretty much attractiveness and like a great personality. You know, like you click. So that's the difference. So before we get in like further, like what do you think you lean more towards, chemistry or compatibility, if any?
Chemistry.
So okay. So how would you, let's put it percentage wise. How would you split it?
60-40.
60-40, 60 chemistry size and compatibility 40. Okay. Why?
Because I guess like there has to be like that, like physical drive between two people.
Yeah.
For other things to happen.
Okay.
Like very rarely, like especially at this age, do you meet somebody and you're like, well, he's got this, he's got that, he's got that. We're compatible. Like, or he likes the same kind of music I like, or same kind of movies I like, or, you know, that's good. But like, if you don't have like that, like,
right, yeah,
then
yeah, that spark.
That's your friend.
That no, that's very well put. That's your friend. Yeah,
that's my friend.
Yeah, I totally understand.
We besties.
Yeah. And sometimes it can get kind of boring. Like, yeah, you guys are compatible, but like, what else?
Right.
You know, I kind of feel that that's kind of like how like passion and like dedication are kind of like dedication is more compatibility. Like, okay, we have the same values. You know, we can go the distance, the long distance. But then the passion is like the chemistry. You know, like if you see like your significant other walking down the steps and you're just like, yo, I will pounce on you right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's not compatibility. That's chemistry, man. That's fire. That's desire.
That's what you need.
You know, you're just like, yo, come here, you know, get
but
over here.
You still need to have some compatibility because it has to be a good balance, because there's no way that, you know, all that physicality, you know, is going to keep up a conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
Like if you bring him out with your friends, you can't be like, yo, he gives the best head. Like,
yeah.
He has to be like talkative.
And you can't do anything else. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. No.
Great.
No, great points. For me, man, that's hard because like, yeah, you do want it like 50-50, but it never ends up that way. I think I would probably put damn, I think, yeah, you're right, like 60-40, because I was gonna say 70-30, 70 chemistry, 30 compatibility. But not in the sense that, oh, we need to be like, we only have like a couple things in common with each other.
Right.
It's just more that I'm adaptable, so I'm okay. Like, and I know that in relationships there's compromises and there's sacrifices and stuff like that, and I'm fine with that, like, because I know that going in. But I love when I click with somebody that I like. Like,
right.
I really love it, like, because it amps you up too, you know, like it amps you up. You want to see the person more, like you want to do things with the person, you want to do things to the person. You know, like there's a lot of things like that just like amp you up, and it puts a fire inside you, you know, and you're just like, yo, I really like this person, and let's go. And of course, yes, that passion can't that passion isn't a slow burn. You know, you need that passion is fire. You know, but the thing is, it dies out, not completely, obviously. You know, it only that those things only happen in spurts. You definitely need the compatibility to just withstand each other.
Yeah.
You know, you need the same values. Well, not exactly all the same values, because then that'd be like super boring. But like, you need similar values and similar goals and things like that. You can't just depend on the fire, because sometimes the fire just needs to be put out for like a bit, and then again you ignite that thing up. You know, but yeah. So with talking about that online story, the thing is, this is what is interesting about online dating, because especially because I'm still on OkCupid, so like I'll look at the percentages and stuff, and I see, I'm like, ooh, like 97% match or 98% match, like that's crazy. So when you see that, because we're all dialed into school, like when you see like a high percentage like that, you're like, oh man, I did good, or like, man, this is a perfect match for me. This is awesome. But what you have to realize, OkCupid sets you up for the compatibility with their percentages. So let's say I'm going to meet somebody with a 95% match, but the thing is, when you guys meet, that's when you guys see if you guys have any chemistry. Because on paper, yeah, you guys are 95% match, but when you meet, you could be like, whoa,
right,
I'm not feeling this person whatsoever.
Yeah, I've seen some people who look really cute in their pictures, and then in person, you're just like, shut up. Like, oh god, this is terrible.
Right. And
or I've told this story a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Brooklyn were only like a 60-something% match.
Okay.
And he was just like, I like you more than that. I was like, well, thanks. Really the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Right.
But I was like, oh, OkCupid might know something we don't, or it's just a sham.
Right.
Or maybe you just answered your question super cynically.
Right. I mean, well,
I think me and my ex were like in the 80s.
Okay, that's
maybe
good.
70s or 80s.
Right.
I don't know, but that's like still not great.
You don't think high 80s are good?
No.
Really? So 90 and up has to be the
I
thing
have
for
to
you.
ask if I met my current beau on POF. No, on OkCupid.
What was? Do you
I
remember
don't
your
know.
percentage?
I wonder if he knows. He'll probably know.
Yeah, I'll probably know.
He knows that stuff.
That's crazy. So you think? So you wouldn't? Not that you wouldn't accept. So, but you think that 90 and above has to be it. Like you can't go lower than that.
I don't know.
I mean,
because even some of the people who
you
I
did
was like
go lower
90
than
and
that.
above
Yeah.
weren't like, I don't really feel like when we spoke we were that compatible.
Right.
Sometimes I was like, that's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It really is weird, because that trips me up all the time. So I'm like, yo, how are we like 94, 95%, and like we don't click at all, or like I don't understand it, which brings me to my next point. Married at First Sight, both of our like favorite shows is just like, okay, these people on paper are the perfect match for each other, but then when they meet each other, they're just like, they're like metaphorically bumping heads, and it's like, and not to say that they're supposed to automatically gel, but we know on paper that they're good together. But now the fun part is they have to find out why they're good together, and that's why I love the show, because they need to discover why they look good together. And some people
don't get
are gung-ho about that, and some people don't get it. And
they always say like, oh, I see why the experts matched us. Do you really?
Right.
And then some are just like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I really want to see what the questionnaire is. I do want to see what the questionnaire looks like.
Right.
I was just on their site trying to see if it was on there, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
they do have a fun MASH game up now, though.
I've played that
on the Married at First Sight one.
Yeah, I played it. It was fun.
Oh, okay. That's all you're gonna say about that.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay.
I mean, I think I still have the picture. So I can show you like later.
Okay.
But yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
Okay, I'm gonna play it. Make up some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember I started filling out the questions once.
Okay.
And it was very extensive, so they do ask you a lot, but it's kind of like OkCupid in the fact that you have to be very honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what's her face? Heather.
Right.
Who said that she doesn't care if somebody smokes every once in a while.
Right.
And then when it happened, she was like, "Oh my God, he smokes."
Yeah. And to hear all of our topics on that on Married at First Sight, we're on Periscope. So hit us up on Periscope, Bed Love Beyond. At Bed Love Beyond, or you can just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Bed Love Beyond, and you'll hear. And you can see our Periscope there. That's where we do recaps of different shows that we watch. Right now, it's Married at First Sight, so you'll hear all about that. But yeah, so I just feel that it's like the balance of chemistry and compatibility is it's hard. It's rough because you don't really know. One, obviously, you can't control it because chemistry is such a.
I have a theory that alpha women care more about compatibility than chemistry.
That alpha women what?
Care more about compatibility than chemistry.
Okay. Explain.
On paper, but then when they get chemistry, they're like, OMG.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Okay. So, like, my theory is just a theory. Is that, like, most, like, you know, I'm not talking about, like, alpha women, the ones, like, myself, maybe, who,
right.
like, take care of their own shit. I'm talking about the ones that, like, are, like...
Run, like, business companies?
Right.
Like CEOs,
yeah.
whatever? Okay.
Those chicks who are, like, fuck men, I don't need no men. Like, feminist alpha women.
Okay.
So, I would think that they would need more... Like, you need to be compatible with me because you need to be able to fit into my life and my schedule. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Then I don't care, like, if you give me the feels, because if you're not going to be compatible with me, with what I have going on, then you can kick rocks.
Right, because because me speaking as the woman is like, I'm not changing my regimen or my schedule or whatever. Right. Like, you need to fit into this world.
Right.
I ain't fitting into yours.
I'll make a little bit of space for you to slither through, but
yeah.
But that's it.
Oh, okay.
So that's really sad, though.
Yeah.
And then, but maybe if they get hit with a good old compatibility and then the chemistry pops in, you know, maybe they'll be thrown through the roof. What movie was that? I think it was like Think Like a Man.
Right.
Where she was like super, like, she was like a super headstrong business chick.
Okay.
And I think she was like dating Michael Ealy's character.
Okay.
And she was kind of just like, he's cute and we get along and we have fun together. But, like, I don't know. And then, like, finally his charm came through. And she's like, oh, never mind.
Taming of the Shrew, I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But it is foul though because it just seems that they just need a service as opposed to a companion. Right. You know, just like I fit you in from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then like after that they'll get out of here. You know, so like yeah, fine, we can have picnic or whatever. But like if I'm gonna pick up this business call, I'm gonna pick it up. Right. Or whatever. Because I don't know what that.
Or I need to go somewhere and have somebody on my arm.
Or what is that? I don't know. How does that man feel? Because I'm sure there's people out there. Like,
I guess that's why it has to be incompatibility. The man has to have a similar schedule where they can just see each other X amount of time, and he's fine with, like, being the side chick.
The side chick. Right.
Because essentially the job is the main chick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And...
Wow. I don't know. I mean, if it works for people, it works for people. But
I don't think it works at all. But I'm just saying. And they don't give a fuck about chemistry.
Right. Yeah. Ugh. That sucks. Yeah. I guess it is about like status or whatever.
I'm sure that's why you see like a lot of like businessmen who like cheat and stuff like that. Like, because they don't have time for all that. They just need, does it fit? It fits. And they don't get married right away. they'll be like, I got a business to run, bitch.
Right.
I don't know if that's how it really goes.
Right.
Sorry, businessman, if I've just offended you, but I watch a lot of Lifetime.
Right. That's funny. So this section I saw was about how to find your life partner, and it was by, I believe, Wait But Why, and I can't speak enough about that article, and I'm going to reference it in future podcasts too, because I saw things that I was like, oh, I need to make a podcast about that. We need to talk about that. So it's pretty cool. But the topic is saying that society has it all wrong and gives us terrible advice about, trying to find love. And I took this to heart because I saw that this kind of like reflects me. And it says, society encourages us to stay uneducated and let romance be our guide. If you're running a business, conventional wisdom states that you're a much more effective business owner if you study business in school. Create well thought out business plans and analyze your business performances diligently. This is logical because that's the way you proceed when you want to do something well and minimize mistakes. But if someone went to school to learn about how to pick a life partner and take part in a healthy relationship, if they charted out a detailed plan of action to find one, and if they kept their progress organized rigorously in a spreadsheet, society says that they're A, an over-rational robot, B, way too concerned about this, and C, a huge weirdo. No, when it comes to dating, society frowns upon you thinking too much about it instead of opting for things like relying on fate, going with your gut, and hoping for the best. If a business owner took society's dating advice for her business, she'd probably fail, and if she succeeded, it would partially be due to good luck, and that's how society wants us to approach dating. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you should overthink things, but that's you, so you're gonna do it anyway. But
yes, this is totally me.
Some things you should just go with. You never know.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you ever meet two people and you're like, he's a really good guy, you should really go for him.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, no, and you're like, dude, you could be missing out on something super big.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't get it because she's caught up with whatever, overthinking and blah 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 blah.
Right.
And I think those are the times you have to just let go and let flow.
Right.
You never know. Fate could be a thing.
Right. No, yeah, it could very well be a thing. And I take this to heart, but not to say oh this hurt me, but yeah, I've always gotten flack for the meticulousness that I put into trying to find love and stuff. Not that I don't trust my gut. I do. I actually rely on it a lot. But some people are like, yo, why are you so obsessed with love? Or why do you always put up love things on your Facebook? Somebody's like, yo, calm down, man. All I see from you is love posts and comic book posts. And I want more comic book posts. I'm just like, yo, it's just me. That's just how I am. I love to read about this stuff. I love.
But you still just love.
What happened?
You still just love.
Yes, but.
No,
I'm agreeing with you. But the thing is, you're taking it as a negative. I can take it as a positive because, yeah, I'm in love with love. But guess what? That makes me a romantic.
It makes you a sucker.
It doesn't make me a sucker. It makes me a romantic. I am a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, but you're the person who's going to think everything's going to be just gravy and everything's going to work out when your girlfriend's a raging psycho.
No. No.
I don't know.
No, because that's why I do the analyst stuff, to trust me, yeah, I do love because when I'm in it, I can definitely Calgon, take me away, if anybody remembers that, and oh, everything is so peachy keen. But sometimes I will rein myself in and be wait, hold up, this doesn't sound right or whatever. I can. Don't shake your head at me. What?
Nothing.
What?
Proceed.
No. Go ahead, yo. Go ahead.
I don't know. I just.
No, I can pick those things out because of the bad things that have happened to me. I have become cynical, so I'm both now. Like I am a romantic, but I also
You're like
have
the bipolar Cupid.
I have cynicism on my side too. So I'm just like, yeah, this might be great, or she could be a raging bitch. Let's see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So no, like that, like that's what it is. Like even with religious girl, like I was like, oh, let's go, man. She met a lot of my qualities that I want, like in a woman, which I'm going to read in a bit. And I was like, ooh, okay, let's go. And my gut was good too. But at the same time, every time we would hang out with each other, red flags would come up. I'm just like, all right, hold on.
What kind of red flags?
Her communication was shit. Like communicative skills were shit. Absolute shit. But like,
she seemed to do a good job. She told you that she was
only at the end. Only because, and the reason why she was shit, because she told me that she did it on purpose, because she didn't want to get caught up, because she gets caught up too, because she got caught up with her last relationship, and she stayed with him for 4 years, even though she knew he was a piece of shit. So she was transitioning, I guess, with me. You know what I'm saying? Like to be different and to not just like fall head over heels. That's why she was because like I would text her and she wouldn't like text me back for like, yo, like a good like 8-9 hours or even like the next day. And I'm just like, oh, I can't have a relationship like this. But I was like, well, let me see, because it's still early. But she said that she did that deliberately because she was still deliberating in her head if she would want to have a relationship with me because of the whole God thing. So she said, like, I'm so sorry that I did that to you and blah, blah, blah. But like, now that we got everything out the way, now you'll see like the real me and how I communicate. And I'm like, all right, fine. And no, yeah, it went up like 1,000%. Like we text and whatever. And so, but yeah.
Have you hung out with her?
No. I'm not. No. But yeah, this is how I am. And I know, yeah, I'm definitely like, I love. I do. But I think that makes me a romantic, man.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that.
Yo, why you gotta?
I don't know.
Yo, why you gotta play me like that? That's messed up. She has her her therapist hat on, and like she's analyzing me. That's messed up, yo. I'm a romantic, damn it. All right, audience people.
Okay, you're romantic.
Don't do that. Don't pander me. That's even worse. So, to back to what is it? To piggyback on the Society Has It All Wrong article is this other article that I saw with Humans of New York, and this couple wrote, we met in college. He walked me home from school every day for 5 years. We would talk about everything: how many kids we wanted, how we wanted to raise them, our roles in the home, where we wanted to live, and even where we wanted to go on vacation. So there really haven't been many surprises. A lot of couples only seem to talk about the important things if they are forced to make big decisions. And there can be this moment of, oh, I didn't really know you. Then there's the pressure to make a decision. That's when the biggest arguments seem to happen. We've luckily managed to avoid all that because it's all been discussed before. We've been married for 15 years, but we still walk home together from work every night. We're actually doing that right now. So that is compatibility, right? Do you think so?
I don't know.
Because they talked about everything thoroughly for 5 years.
But I'm sure there's also chemistry there. It wouldn't really last.
Yeah, of course. But I definitely see compatibility. Like, yo, I want to know everything about you, and they did it for like the first 5 years of their relationship,
Yeah.
And got like, gelled well together. But some people might not want to do that because even she says it right here. So there really hasn't been many surprises. People who advocate for chemistry, they want that gut feeling. They want to like bump into somebody and be like, oh, I didn't know that you were here. Like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, you can go first. So like, what are you ordering? Oh, I'm ordering a mocha latte. Oh shit, I'm ordering a mocha latte too. Oh my god! And then boom, like chemistry. Yay, let's get married and have like 5 kids and whatever, and like live in Hawaii and stuff like that. Like people want chemistry to be like that, as opposed to the rigorous, like, okay,
Right.
let me write this down, and okay, you're good with this, and are we compatible on this area? They just want it to be fate driven and like movie driven. And this couple did it the complete opposite way, and they've been together for 15 years. I think that's what people are scared of. They don't want it to be boring and meticulous. They want the surprises. They want the love.
Sometimes it just is.
What do you mean?
Boring and meticulous.
Yo, why are you making it sound like it's like super boring? And
I mean,
like,
it is. I mean, you have to be prepared for that. I'm sorry, you're romantic. If romantics don't prepare for that.
No. I wouldn't. Yes, we do. But here's the thing. I don't like your words.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's boring. I believe it's routine. Boring and routine are 2 different things.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be boring. It needs to be
semantics.
routine. No, it doesn't need to be boring. It could just be routine,
Okay.
and then that's it. Like, yeah, I know you're coming home, you're gonna do dinner, or I'm gonna do dinner, whatever. People find that enduring because it's stability. Just like, okay, I know Jennifer's coming home at like 7. Boom, she's gonna have whatever beef stroganoff on the freaking
What?
whatever, man. Like, whatever food, whatever dish you like, whatever. I pick up the kids after school, blah blah blah, and then that's it. It doesn't necessarily need to be boring, but it's routine because it's stable. But chemistry people might not like that. They're like, no, man, we need to I want to go home and
There's a time and a place for chemistry.
while she's cooking, I want to just like wrap her in my arms and like
Chemistry's not all
cooking,
physical though.
whatever. Oh no, yeah, you're right. It's a lot of spontaneity too. Mm-hmm. I definitely get you. I definitely get you on that. But yeah. So going along with like surprises and stuff and being like meticulous, I composed a while back with After Religious Girl. I made a pro and con list, and I think I talked about this on the podcast, but I actually made a pro and con list. And the thing is, I've been like addicted to making those, because I've gone on OkCupid and I've seen somebody that say like a 92 or 93%, and I'm just like, yo, this person's hot or whatever, or like this person's cool, and I'm reading their list. I'm reading their profile, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Let me cross-reference all this stuff with the stuff that I want in a significant other, and it gives me more confidence to I'm gonna write to the person anyway, but like, it just gives me more incentive to be like, okay, you know what, let's do this. And and I write. Of course, that doesn't necessarily mean anything on her, like, oh, because I went through this, she's gonna write back, because she doesn't know that I'm doing this. But I just don't want to like waste time as well, because like sometimes you can get caught out there. Men are visual, so sometimes I'll be like, yo,
Clearly.
that chick. What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying they are.
So sometimes I'm like, yo, that chick is super hot. Let me freaking write to her, and I could be wasting my time because she doesn't meet any of my criteria, or whatever. So I'm gonna read my list, and after you tell me if it's good or not.
Okay.
Go
for it.
So my first thing is not necessarily in order, but this is it. Communicative. That's 1. Number 2, she needs to be nerdy, or at least into geek culture. I can't have any non-geek people. And you know what the funny thing is? One of our guests, Bridget, she actually she made me realize that, because like sometimes I would just be like, because I know that a lot of women aren't into the things that I'm into, so I'm like, okay, fine, that could be my thing, and I'll still like be with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. If you're not into it, that's fine.
Right.
Like I said, I'm adaptable. Cool. And I know my things are my thing. And I remember I was telling her about Religious Girl, and like the first thing that she said was like, oh, okay, well, what type of geek is she, or how into geek is she? And I'm like, why would you ask that? And she was like, because you're into that stuff. Like, why would you
Maybe
try
there
to
was
be
just chemistry and not compatibility.
true. It was like she was like, why would you be with anybody that's not into that stuff? And I'm just like, yo, you're right. Like I'm making it like harder on myself. I was just like, why don't I try to find somebody who's into those things instead of just, okay, honey, it's Monday, so I'm gonna go and do my geek stuff. Like, okay, weirdo.
Oh no.
No, you know what I mean? Like, that makes sense, right? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're into UFC. I'm not saying that you need to find somebody who has like
I guess
a UFC replica belt in
as
his,
like
in
knee
his
deep
house.
as you are into geeky stuff, I guess it would make a difference because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it depends just how much you like it.
Right.
Like if it embodies the person you are, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
So.
Number 3 is motivational and ambitious. Like I want somebody, who would motivate me, but at the same time, I want to see that you're motivated too. And I would definitely motivate you because I love when people tell me their end goal because it always surprises me. Not to say that like, oh, you want to do that because you're an idiot. No, not like they say I want to like be like a forensic like lawyer or whatever. Like I went to a party this weekend and then somebody was like, yeah, I want to be a forensic lawyer. I was like, yo, that is amazing. Like that's great, yo. Like yo, I freaking hope you freaking do that because like some people they don't want to shoot for the stars, because they're scared or whatever. And I'm like, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, holy shit, because like me, I want to be a writer. I want to be a screenwriter. I want to ultimately open up my own production company. That's a big lofty dream, but to me it's not a dream to me. I feel that it's reality, and I want somebody to think like that too, and I don't think that's wrong of me. 4, I want somebody who's empathetic / understanding, because sometimes we're not where we're supposed to be, and sometimes I would like somebody to understand my position and why I'm in the position that I'm in. A religious girl had that a lot. She was very empathetic as well, and I'm empathetic. I'm not saying that I want somebody to be sorry for me. It's just that I am empathetic too. Like so, I know people's positions in life and all that stuff like that. Number 5 is being open-minded. I guess it's more about like the spirituality thing or whatever else. Just be open-minded about life. You can't be too rigid in things. And number 6 is be musically eclectic, because we talked about that in our last podcast. I want somebody, whatever music that you're into, like I want you to like move you, whatever it is, wherever it's from, like country, rock, hip hop, folk. If it moves you, that's cool. Like I mean, if you're into one thing, that's fine. Like if you're just into all like rock, that's cool. But like branch out, man. Like branch out. Like there's a lot of
So
artists.
you're looking for more of compatibility than chemistry.
Well,
that's all that list is compatibility.
Well, what would I put for chemistry?
It's compatibility.
No. But okay, you're saying all of this is compatibility based. But what would one put if I was looking for chemistry?
That you want to feel chemistry with somebody.
Don't you think that's a given?
I don't know.
Like, of course I want to feel chemistry with somebody.
But that's the thing. You can feel chemistry with somebody, and they cannot meet any of those things on your list, and that's where you'd be missing out. It depends on what's important to you.
Yeah, but would that be sustainable?
You want the female version of you.
Ew.
That's what you want. That's the list you just made.
That I don't want a female version of me.
That's the list you just made.
No, that's gross.
You just said it.
No.
It's the list you just made.
I don't want a female version of me. Ew.
That's what you just fucking wrote.
Whoa.
Anyway, that's the list you wrote. You want a female version of you.
No.
Anyway. Which is all compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
You want someone to be compatible with.
No, but when somebody makes a list, it's for compatibility.
I guess, yeah, but I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, because like, of course, you would want somebody to make you like feel like. Of course, I just assume that would be a given. Like, I gotta freaking look at you. You know what I mean? And what you said before, I forgot. Dang, you just said it too about like, if I see somebody who has all that chemistry, but like doesn't meet my criteria, yeah, that's gonna be hard. But then would that relationship be sustainable?
No, because sometimes you don't have everything that you need. I mean, I've met people and had like extremely incredible chemistry with them.
Yeah.
But they're not good for you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like, why would I go the other way? You know, like, I'm not.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying.
Because I'm not saying I'm picking compatibility over chemistry. It's like this is the stuff that I would like, because
in your partner.
Yeah, because
to be compatible.
Yeah.
Okay.
don't sass me, man. Like
I'm just saying.
I don't like your little jabs there, Miss Missy. So but yeah, I mean that's what I'd want, because and I don't think that that's a bad list, because
it's not,
because some people get real meticulous with it and they're like, nah, I need somebody who's like 6 feet, has a beard, drives a freaking I don't know, Bentley, like mad specific, went to like Ivy League, and it's like, yo, okay, that's like 3 people, and if they don't meet, and out of those 3 people, hopefully, one of them freaking floats your boat. But now, if they don't, then you're effed. Like, I don't think people need to be that specific. I don't know. But yeah.
So what else do you have here?
I have another video from the Facebook page from the person that you like, your other hottie, Devin Franklin, who's married to Megan Good. And he was
everybody likes.
And he was talking, and he has this book called The Wait, and there was a video that Jennifer posted up on our Facebook page, Bed Love Beyond, facebook.com/bedlovebeyond, and he was talking about how looks can be deceiving, where he says you might find somebody that looks like the list, that have the right height, the right education, and they even go to church. They all have these things, and they look like the list. And you say, well, let me date the list. And some of you even have a list on your phone of what the perfect person looks like. When you go based on physical attributes, educational attributes, what you begin to say is, I like the idea of them. And then you get into a relationship, and then you date, because the idea looks so good. Your parents and your friends say, you guys look so good together. But looks can be deceiving. Just because you look good together doesn't mean you are good together. So, that's just to counteract people who make lists like I just did and I just explained, that sometimes the list isn't all that. But then again, my list is, I don't want to say vague. It's not as meticulous as Devin Franklin is saying. Not one attribute that I put that I needed somebody to be a color, a race, a height, educational status, none of that. Like my list is very, I don't say it's very broad, but it has a broad spectrum. For instance, a lot of the people that I've dated and a lot of people that I like, they're completely different from each other. Like, as you all know, since episode 5, me and Jennifer dated for a bit. Jennifer's 4'11". My ex-fiance, who I was going to marry, is 5'8". Completely different. Jennifer's white. My ex-fiance is Costa Rican. Completely different from each other. So, but other people, like I said before, they're like, nope, they need to be 6 feet and whatever and blah, blah, blah. Just like, no, looks can be deceiving. Just because he fit your paper list doesn't mean they're perfect, So, yeah, that's how. So that's what I think that he was trying to say. So, anything to add?
No, I really liked it. I mean, I want to look into his book. I mean, I watched a couple other videos that he put up, and he basically said that, like, his whole life he was like looking for something, and like, it was a very religious undertones. Like, God basically said, that's not right. This isn't for you.
Yeah.
And then God finally brought him Megan Good, which I'm sure many of you men would hope that God would bring you Megan Good. But she's off the market now.
Yeah.
But like, she seems like very like at peace with him.
She does.
Yeah.
I saw another clip that you put up on there, with Oprah, and they were sitting on her lawn or whatever. Well, not sitting on her lawn, sitting in the chair.
Soul Sundays.
And yes, yeah. And yeah, she she looked like
content,
calm, content, and yeah, she was just cool,
I'm
calm,
sure it
and
doesn't
collected.
hurt that he's fine, but I'm just saying.
True, but he seems very well put together.
Right.
Yeah.
And he seems, everyone has like their own opinion of like what a good man should have, like some kind of spirituality or whatever. And I mean, maybe religious girl wouldn't say that, but
right. Well, I would say more of a focal point, whether it's religious or not. Like that to me, that's all that religion is. Religion is just a known thing where you're concentrating on this one focal point, and that focal point is God. Any quote unquote not like secular people, like or regular people, normal people, whatever, sorry to offend, is just get a focal point and always attest to that. Always go back to that. Always go back to that focal point. I remember I keep seeing this meme where it's like it says, if you feel like giving up now, remember why you started. So boom, that's your focal point. It has nothing to do with God. I mean, if that focal point is God, by all means. If it's not, remember why you started, and then just keep going. That's your focal point. So yeah,
that's very interesting. What's also very interesting is this meme that I found, but I don't know whether we're there yet.
Go to meme.
So the meme I found, it says the chemical formula for love. I'm not going to read you the chemical breakdown, but is dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Thank you. It can be easily manufactured in a lab, but overdosing on any of them can cause schizophrenia, extreme paranoia, and insanity. Let that sink in.
What is
in love with love?
So that was for me?
That was just in general. That was the chemistry of love.
Right. That what was the second half? What happens? Overdosing?
Overdosing on any of them can cause schizophrenia, extreme paranoia, and insanity. Let that sink in.
I can see that.
Oh boy.
It's like, oh boy.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yo, again, with the jabs, I'm not feeling this. Man. Yo, let me love, damn it. I'm romantic.
Okay, love it.
All
I'm
right?
a romantic.
I am. What?
So I don't know if love is chemistry or compatibility, but you decide what you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I have like a nice 60-40 mix up.
Right. That's what you want.
That's what I want.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what I might have. I don't know. I don't really. I think.
No, I think that's a good. I think that's a good assessment. I think so too. Like, I mean, obviously you got to have both. We're not necessarily saying they should choose one or the other, or one is better than the other. But some people strive on compatibility because they feel that that's going to hold them down for the long term, which it is, because if you can't. Let's just give an arbitrary number, 50 years. 50 years of chemistry, like, goddamn. Like, like, the passion can't last that long. I'm not saying that, like, marriages fizzle out. I'm not saying that. But, like, to have passion constantly going for 50 years, that's horrible. But to be compatible with somebody for 50 years, you probably want that, because you're going to have to deal with that person every single day of your freaking life,
Yeah.
So, yeah, compatibility is important, and, of course, chemistry is much more important, because like there's this quick little quote from Tai Tashiro, who came up with this book called The Science of Happily Ever After, and he says it's best to pick based on personality. That's not to throw sex out the window. It's fundamental for a successful marriage. And he says, quoting one of his graduate school advisors, he writes, "If your partner is bad at tennis, it's not a big deal. You can go play tennis with someone else. If your partner is bad in bed, well, that is a big deal." So.
Chemistry.
Yeah. So, like, definitely chemistry, but at the same time, like, you definitely need, compatibility to stand with the person. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the show.
All right. Well, thank you for rocking with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Follow us on all our social media. You know what it is.
Yeah, you definitely know what it is by now.
And if you don't, just Google Bed Love Beyond. We're there.
Yeah, I think we're the first one, first thing that pops up. So Google Bed Love Beyond. We got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. Hit us up on all that. Rate, review, and subscribe on any of the media platforms that you use, please. And also, I wanted to stress that there was some technical difficulties on most of the media devices where you couldn't see the episodes 1 through 15 of our podcast, but now that you can, so please thank you for listening all the way up to this point from 15 to 38. So now you can go back from the beginning and listen to 1 to 15. So please listen to those. Those are great episodes as well. And you've missed a couple of guests on there as well. But yeah, episode 1 to 15 are now operable and they're fully restored. So please go back and listen to the archives.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. So that is the end of our show, and we will see you guys next time.